The next speaker, I would like to call upon is Samantha Chia. She is an event organizer by profession, a very young, concerned Singaporean. Samantha.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Before I begin, I'd like to thank Mr. Gilbert Goh and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to speak with you today. I'm here today because Hello? Okay. I'm here today because I'd like to share with you my story and my feelings towards the white paper. I'd like to start by telling you a little bit about myself. My mother is a Singaporean, but many years before that, she was born and raised in Taiwan. She then met my father, who is a Singaporean, and together they have made Singapore their home. I was born here in 1981, so now you know how old I am. And I grew up in a family where half of my relatives are in Taiwan and the other half in Singapore. I also have a lot of relatives living in Germany, in Australia. And when I was growing up, I always wondered why my relatives chose to leave Singapore. For most of them, it was a pull factor, but to me, Singapore is home. Singapore is the best. I love my country. And to leave my friends, my family, and everything that I know is such a scary concept. But right now, a scarier concept is what Singapore can potentially become in another 20 years. Imagine a place where your cultural identity is slowly eroded away, surrounded by unfamiliar faces, a stranger in your own homeland. How different is that from living in another country?
No different.
I was blessed enough to pursue a degree in Australia, and when I was there for 2 years, my friends asked me if I intend to apply for PR. And I always answered no. Rather smartly, I say, why would I want to be a second-class citizen in another country when I can go back home? I had every intention to come back to Singapore. I had lofty ideals to achieve my dreams here and to make a mark for myself. I'm not an ambitious person, but I want to be successful in the field that I choose to be in. But coming back to Singapore, I realized a lot of things have changed, but not necessarily for the better. It's that classic vicious cycle where you need to find a job to get experience, but the job needs you to have experience first. It's not that I couldn't find a job, it's just that I couldn't find something related to my field. And so, I still try hard to achieve my dreams, but along the way, in the meantime, I have to make compromises because I need to make a living, I need to support myself, and I need to support my family. I know that I am much luckier in comparison to those who do not have the luxury to be picky about the jobs they can have. But the question is, how much luckier can I get in the job market 20 years down the road? So let's recap. We have a limited job market, new graduates coming in every year, and now we have to cater to 6.9 million population. Oh, I'm sorry, worst case scenario. It seems to me that the harder I work, the poorer I become. Even I, as a graduate, am feeling the pressure of just getting by, just supporting myself. I don't know whether if I even can afford to retire here in Singapore. I am single and I don't have kids, but I have many friends my age who are married with children, and I always wonder what kind of a Singapore would their children grow up in. It's definitely not the one I used to know. What kind of a social fabric are we weaving for our future generation? Will they grow up knowing what it means to be a Singaporean? Or will they find themselves a foreigner in their own home? Or maybe they won't even grow up in Singapore. I don't want to leave my home. It's the last place I want to do, but at the rate we are going, there's not much home left. Looking at the situation right now, what's stopping me from leaving Singapore, pursue my dream somewhere else, have a better quality of life? Who doesn't want that? And this is coming from someone who has the option to leave. What about those who don't? What's going to happen to them? So here's the thing. I really believe that what the white paper is doing is creating a final push factor for more young Singaporeans to leave Singapore. We don't have a declining birth rate. We actually have a healthy birth rate. We are just not doing it in Singapore. But at the same time, this also means that we are also opening a floodgate where a lot of immigrants are coming to Singapore in such a fast pace, in such large quantity, they don't have time to assimilate into our country. It's not fair for them and it's not fair for us. This is a lose-lose situation. In 2009, Minister Mentor Lee Kuan Yew has this to say about establishing the bilingual education policy in 1966, and I quote, "Successive generations of students paid a heavy price because of my ignorance by my insistence on bilingualism." So here's my question. In another 20 years, will our leaders make a similar statement about how generations of Singaporeans have paid a heavy price because of their ignorance and their stubbornness towards the population white paper? But despite everything else, despite what I have said here today, I sincerely and I truly believe that it's still not too late. And you must believe in that too, otherwise you wouldn't be here today in this weather. Change can happen if change starts now. I know I am considered young to most of you here today. But the truth is, whatever changes we hope to make now is not for my generation's benefit. It's a little late for us. But it's still not too late for my friends' children, your children, grandchildren, and the future generations to come. If we really want to create a Singapore that's a home to its people, and to the people who have come to make Singapore their home, we must say no to 6.9 million. Thank you.